Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining. We'll get started in just a few minutes, but we really appreciate everybody being here today. This is our provider Q&A monthly webinar with Gina Corello and Aaron Gallagher, here to answer all of your questions. Your questions can be put into the chat box. If you don't mind, we just ask that everybody stay muted with video off to preserve sound quality. And this will be recorded and posted on our YouTube channel later this afternoon.
Wonderful.
Okay, we still have a few people joining, but it is 1:01. So Gina and Aaron, please take it away.
Thank you, Ariel. Hi, everybody. Today is the 15th of April, and if you have not done your taxes, file that extension. Just
That's
say, I'm
about
just
it.
saying.
It is tax day. So unless you are really speedy and knowledgeable on taxes, yeah, it's a lot of it. So hopefully more people will join us. To those of you who are here who joined us last week for the school readiness orientation, thank you for doing so.
Yes. That's new for us this year. We are required now to for orientation. And I can, yes, people are, I think most everybody's here. I'll get a message out to everybody, but I have gone in and updated a lot of the attendance. So you should be able to get your certificate if I did it right, and I might not have. So that's entirely possible. But you should be able to. And if you missed last week's orientation, we are going to have that video, and we are going to have a learning management way for you to go in and watch that video and get your certificate. That is on the back burner. Well, it's not on the back burner. It's coming. We just don't have it quite yet, but it's coming really, really soon. So don't stress that you missed that session, or we're not doing another live one. So, but we will have the video recording available for you to watch so that you can get your certificate so you're in compliance for your contract. And that being said, I don't know if we have any VPK sites that also do VPK. We also realized that we need to have a VPK orientation. We have VPK orientation as well. So, in the interest of time, we will be repurposing the April quarterly provider meeting, which was on April 14th. That will now be our VPK orientation meeting, also via webinar, the same format. You'll go in and register, and then you'll be able to get your certificate. And if you miss it, if you do VPK and you can't get in there, then you will have the option to watch the video through our learning management system and get a certificate to us for that as well. So the more information is coming out about all of that. Yes, was it good? It's the 14th. And only if you do VPK. So it's only, if you do school readiness and VPK, you also need to do this. And then I don't know if we have any VPK onlys on this. I think, Aaron, you froze. If you're a VPK only site, then you would have to do that orientation as well. So you should be able to go back in, Larissa, to WebAuthor and see on your registrations when you log into your account the certificate for that school readiness. I did mark everybody present based on what I had. Ariel, can you still hear me? Because Aaron's very frozen.
Yes, I can still hear you.
Okay. All right. I'm like, did I freeze? Did Aaron freeze? Which way do we go? Okay. So, so you should be able to go back in to WebAuthor using the email that you registered for the class, the orientation on, and be able to get your certificate. You have to do the survey, but my intent is to get an email blast out to everybody that was in that, so to remind you on how to do that and then where to give it to us if you've forgotten. And then also about the upcoming VPK orientation, which will be on May 14th at 10. And we are, like I said, replacing our quarterly provider meeting. We already had that on the books. And we're gonna dual purpose, we'll move off that quarterly provider meeting until next in the fall, and then we'll repurpose that already scheduled webinar for VPK orientation. So we meet that requirement as well. That one snuck up on me. I'll be honest, I wasn't paying attention. And then I was kind of like, oh, we need to make that happen. So we're going to make it happen. If you know nothing about us, we do absolutely make things work. So that's coming. So I will give out some more information about how to get those certificates. We don't actually have the school readiness contract in the portal yet. The intent from DEL is that they would have it to us this week, and they had said tomorrow evening it'll get uploaded. So we will start to have school readiness contracts being initiated probably early next week. And then you'll get an email from the system that the contract's in there for you to sign. So you haven't missed anything yet. It is a little late, in my opinion. I'd like to get started a little bit earlier, but we are at the mercy of our funder at this stage. So anyway, hi Eric, you're back. And you're muted, but it's nice to see you.
Everything's
You're moving now.
I had turned off unmute, and it just took a second to decide if I was allowed to talk. Hi, everyone. Sorry. And I'm sure my face froze in a lovely.
No, you're okay. Actually, it looked like you were about to talk. And so I was like, did I freeze? Did you freeze? I don't know what's happened.
Zoom has just decided to misbehave with me a little bit lately.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. No worries. Just making
we're all
sure.
caught up on school readiness orientation. I know we will have that loaded eventually.
Yes.
We did also have the chat log. I know Ariel's going to load that up because so many folks said hello to us. So as long as you put in the chat with a hello, that'll be perfect. And we will have an FAQ document coming out along with the slides so that you will have that. But in order to receive credit, so to speak, for the contracts, you will have to either have attended that live session or there will be a recorded session coming up. But the other resources, there was so much great information in the slides. I would want it too. I totally get it. So we'll make sure that's available along with an FAQ because there were lots of good questions in the chat.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Gina, I sent you some of those. But Gina and I have been talking as well because there were wonderful questions. So we're talking about repurposing these meetings, and you'll be seeing information coming out. And would love your feedback in the chat for micro learnings. And so hosting that along with areas where you had a lot of questions. So family services, reimbursement, and kind of working our way through each area just as we presented the orientation. And these hours that are scheduled will become a micro learning session. So we can really dig into the questions that came up during the orientation, number one, and it will also be an avenue for you to ask other questions because we are partners in this. We want to ensure that you have all the information you need. Of course, from time to time, things do change, just like everything else in life. So we'll still be continuing to give updates, but it will let us really dig deep into an area and hopefully answer your questions and also have that as a resource on YouTube for you, along with any slides, just like the orientation. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes. So, exactly. So, I do think, because our questions aren't the same, right? We started this series a while ago. It's hard to believe. I think it's like almost 4 to 5 years ago now. Yeah. So, and it really was in response to all of the changes that we had going on because of COVID and because of the differences in all of that stuff. But we still, and everyone continues to see value. I think most people that come on are like, this is good, this is information I needed, but we don't have a lot of big things like that happening all of the time. So I do think scheduling some micro learning, and then we'll put out pretty much, my thought is to sort of structure it like we do VPK Fast, in that they have a theme every month, and there'll be a monthly webinar, and then of course we'll have the recordings and save them. So we can cover a lot of those issues that we see people really had questions about from the orientation meeting, and then dive into some other areas. So yeah, if there's anything you think that you want us to focus on first, please feel free to throw it in the chat. I think we have kind of an idea based on the questions that we had where we need to go, but we definitely want to make sure that we're meeting your needs as our partner. So if there's anything you're thinking, oh, you know what, I really, really need to know that one ahead of another one, just let us know. Is everybody registered for our conference? Are y'all coming to the Empower 26? What's going on out there?
So our conference is coming up in May. We have changed venues.
Yeah.
So we are now going to be, number one, if you drive to Kaiser, we won't be there that day. So
No,
I'm so sorry to tell you. So please don't go there. So I'm pulling up all the information so I can give it to you and you can look it up. We're going to be, I believe it's the Hilton Airport. Am I correct?
I think so, yes.
Yes. Let me give you all the details. Okay, so tickets are still on sale. It is the 16th of May, and we have changed locations for this year. So we are going to be at the beautiful, I'm looking.
The Hilton, they keep calling it the Hilton Palm Beach, but it's
Hilton.
by the airport. Is it the one on the south side of the airport? Do you know?
Yes. Kind of the south side, yes.
Yeah, like off of Southern.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly. And I think I lost my video again, so I may just turn that off for a second while my computer decides to behave itself.
Yeah.
I might be joining from my phone soon, everybody.
Pivot.
I know. Might just join from my phone and move on here.
I think so. I think your computer is not happy today.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so if you registration is still open for the conference.
It is still open.
The easiest way is to go to our website, elcpalmbeach.org, and you can register from there. Great number of presenters this year. The theme is the Wizarding World. Yeah.
Early learning.
Of early learning.
And there is a very fun house quiz you can take. So if you want to find out what house you are, you can take the house quiz and find out what house you're in. So I am going to just come in.
There we go. Hilton PB. Thank you, Ariel. She's so quick.
Yes, she's so good.
There we go. Oh, she's got it. It's
Recording in progress.
Any questions before we keep promoting all of our stuff? Is there any questions I can answer for you? On the call, we have 60 people here. Anything that's pressing that you need a response on while Erin gets herself situated there? What's the deadline for? Oh, thank you, Andrea. Alejandra. What is the deadline for parents to sign the monthly VPK attendance form? And what happens if a parent is unable during that time? Oh, look at good. Okay. So there we go, Erin. So you're in two spots now. So the deadline for the short or long form, which is the monthly verification for VPK, we usually say within 10 days of the start of the next month. So if you are doing March, by April 10th, you have the parent signed for March. If it goes beyond that, it goes beyond that. And that's, that can happen if you're not able to connect with the parent, or, maybe the parent hasn't sent the form back or been in or something. But it does need to be signed each month. You can't have them sign it ahead of time. So as close to the end of the month as possible is usually the best guess that you can do. Most people do chase them around a little bit to get them to sign. Paulina asked, when do VPK contracts come out? So that is also waiting on the state to release. So I believe that provided our release has no hiccups, would be coming. We'll start initiating those next week. So that we're waiting for the state to upload it into the system, and then the contracts will be available for us, as well as a VPK app. So you do both the app and the contract, and we'll start initiating those next week. I don't know how much VPK is going to pay yet. That usually we find out in May when this governor signs the budget for the new year. So I will send out an email once I get the actual payment amount for VPK for 26-27, but I don't know that piece yet. Not that anybody asked that, but that's usually the next question. Martha,
The
did you
link
get
is
the
in the
link?
chat, Miss Martha.
Yeah, the
So
link's in the
one good
chat.
thing is I can navigate on my phone. So we're just going to MacGyver this today. We're going to make this work.
Yeah.
So the link's there. So please sign up. It will be at the Hilton Palm Beach Airport. We're so excited. It will be so much fun. And please take the house quiz if you have not done so yet, because it is really, really cool. I know we have a lot of wonderful educators who have been nominated this year, Gina. So that closes today, right?
Yes, that closes
So we'll,
today.
yep. So we will be recognizing educators, and of course, all of you who attend. I will be there. Gina will be there. Wonderful teams from the coalition. So come see us. And the presenter lineup is amazing. So definitely come join us. Definitely come join us. The link is in the chat.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see you guys. I'll be there too. So I'm going to send out more information about getting the certificate for orientation. Wanda asked. It should be under My Registrations when you go into WebAuthor. If you click on My Registrations, which you can find, I'm
Towards the
not
top
a
right. So
WebAuthor export, but I think, if you click on the little lines with the little arrow, if you don't have a link directly on your
looks like a
landing
hamburger.
page,
Yeah.
if you click on a little hamburger thing, then you should have an option on the left-hand side that says My Registrations. And then it would list all of the classes that you've taken through WebAuthor, and under School Readiness Provider Orientation, you should have an option for take survey and then print certificate once you do the survey. If you do not, because I had people registered two different ways. So if I've messed something up, I'm going to fix it, but I may have to do one other step. I don't do this that often, so I'm not exactly sure, but I'll find out. And once I have found out, I will send out directions on how to make that happen and where the certificate goes, because we do have a box, not a box folder, I keep saying that. In the document library, there is a folder called orientation, I think. Yes, just orientation. And you would put your certificate in there. So I am working on some guidance on how to get that out there, and then guidance for everyone once we have that video option available to you. So we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm sorry. I'm in multiple things at the same time here. Okay.
Well, I'm not helping. I'm having tech issues today, Gina. So we've just decided to throw everything into the soup pot at the same time.
Yeah. So Miss Martha was asking if there's a code for Head Start. She'd have to talk with Miss Akia, no? Or do you know, Erin?
Talk with Miss Akia on that right now. It is standard pricing, so I don't know if Head Start's offering a code. Good question, but I would reach out to the Early Head Start team and they will let you know. I don't have information on that right now. I'll see if I can message her, but she'll send something out to the Early Head Start group.
Yeah.
So good question.
Awesome. That is a
good
good
question.
question.
Good question.
Yep. Okay. Sorry. I'll move a couple things around so I know what I'm doing here. Okay. It's EHS. Yes, Early Head Start.
Yes.
Head Start. Yeah. We don't do Head Start, but Early Head Start sometimes. Yes.
Yes.
Did receive an email to register for this meeting. Is this No, it's not a Head Start.
No, this is just coalition.
Yeah. This is our, we were just saying that this is our monthly Q&A. Oh, thank you. EHS Karen is saying that the code for the registration is actually the letters EHS. Gotcha. That makes more sense. Thank you.
And they will check and make sure you're a Head Start provider. So sorry,
Right.
everyone, if you're not here. Head Start does provide some additional training dollars. That's why it's really, if you're in a Head Start community, we love our Head Start providers and thank you. But Head Start does help to underwrite some costs. So I'm sorry if you're not an early Head Start. But we value all of you, whether you're school readiness, VPK, Head Start, all partners in this. All partners in this.
Yeah. So Lolitha was asking if this is a Head Start meeting. It's not a Head Start meeting. It's actually our monthly Q&A meeting that we were just talking about how we are going to pivot these a little bit in the new year. So coming June, we don't have one next month because next month will be what was our quarterly meeting, which we are repurposing for VPK orientation. And then starting in June, we'll start doing monthly microlearning topics. So we're very excited about that. So we were asking if, for those of you that just joined, if you had any topics that you would like us to cover first or priority for you and your operations going into the new contract year, please feel free to throw those in the chat. And we will make sure to get those to the top of the presentation list. So this will be a little bit more that way and a little bit less just sort of open questions.
Or to ask questions.
Yeah.
And you'll get that schedule ahead of time so you'll know who's going to be on. I would definitely say come to all of them because it all ends up fitting together as part of your business.
Absolutely.
So I would so appreciate that. I also just had a curious question for those of you that are willing, just to get a cross section of who's in the meeting. Would you be willing to put in the chat how long you've been in early learning, or how long your program has worked with the coalition, or how long you've had a relationship? Just because that helps us to kind of, some individuals who just are very new within your first year. Some of you I know have been in early learning in Palm Beach County going on 20 years. Gina, I think we've been hanging out together for a long time.
Yeah.
So, you're on different pieces of that journey. So just if you can, that would be really, really helpful to understand. So thank you in advance for that.
Yeah.
We are working on a Q&A. So we do have some questions that came out from that Q&A, and we'll cover that up. Allie, I know some of us have been in this since we were like toddlers, because we're only 29. So, I mean, it's, we started, we were toddlers. So yeah, a lot of us have been doing this a while. So it definitely, gosh, we got some really dedicated individuals in this group.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. And for those of you that have just joined, you will be saying that very quickly. You get sucked in. I'll tell you, you definitely get sucked into early learning.
Yeah, for sure.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yes, I was too. You grew up in it, Tawana. I don't know that you can count all of those years.
You were 2. Well, that's okay. I was 2 too. That's why I can count 30 years, because I'm only 32.
That's right.
I'm only 32. It's fine.
Goodness. This is like hundreds of years of experience.
Oh my gosh. I know. The collective knowledge on this call is insane. It's amazing. And just to all of you, it's just amazing. Just amazing. So for those of you who are putting up all those years, the other nice thing about these micro learnings will be that you can share from your perspective, be it with a center or a home. How do you organize that work? So part of it is, how do we do our work? And a lot of times there's a statute or a rule that's attached to why we do the things we do. And that kind of, gives us some guardrails on how we do things. But then the other side is from your side as a childcare program and an early learning program. What do you do to really make that work in your program and to make it manageable? And I think over the years, I've been fortunate to see so many programs that do this so well. So it'd also be a chance to share that this is how I tackle this. This is how I work on this piece, because it's one part of my business in comparison to the whole picture. So it'd also be a chance for all of you who are experts, 45 years, my goodness, to talk with each other and really talk about business strategies. Because at the end of the day, it takes all of us to be a part of this community and to serve all these children and families. It takes all of us. And so our collective brains will be a big part of this, a big, big part of this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Miss Susan asked about certificates. So yeah, we can make those in service, the micro learning sessions. Absolutely. And we are still working on our, on our accreditation for CEUs. What is it called?
For CEUs. So the ISET approval, I will look up what ISET stands for. It's IACCET. I will find out what that is. But ISET is the body that lets us deliver courses and attach CEUs. And so for anybody that has a director credential or a number of other credentials, you need the CEUs to renew. In-service hours are great for licensing, but we know, get the question often, is this core CEU bearing? So we have heard that, and we are definitely working on becoming a CEU institution so you can, get both of those things in one shot. But definitely in service. Great question.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if we were to do CEUs, it does change the format a little bit, and there has to be a pre and post and all of that sort of thing. So our thought is more that they are a quicker, obviously, and would be in service eligible. Miss Andrea, hi. Absolutely.
Good questions. Good questions.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, Celia.
Hi. You're okay.
She works for us, so that's okay.
Yeah, but I'm on my phone. We're just making it work today. It's all fine.
You never know. Okay, wonderful. A good question. So good. So in that idea, then, not to call you out, Susan, but did you have something that you would want to see ahead of time, or something that would be more pertinent to your operations going into, from summer to fall? Thank you, Chelsea. Chelsea's out there too. Chelsea, you have anything you want to talk about? As far as once we start the micro learning, it would start in June. So is there anything that you would like us to prioritize over anything else, or is whatever we put out there is okay? I only call you because you're willing to.
So we were thinking of maybe starting around family services, reimbursement. We had a fair number of questions on those. So family services from the enrollment standpoint, certificates. This is definitely one where I saw a wonderful opportunity for all of you who are long time in this field to share knowledge about how you do it, how you work with your families to make sure that they're going through the process of receiving their certificates, because that part is very much a partnership with them to ensure that they renew their certificates so that they can continue their care. So we would love to pick all of your brains on how you embed that in your business. So absolutely, 100%. That's another good idea. So we could also tack on some leadership items. Good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was already starting to make a list, and I'm thinking, like in-depth on child certificates and enrollment eligibility, reimbursement, and sort of what that looks like, and adjustments, class, of course, and monitoring, maybe some marketing, the leadership now from Susan, and I think family engagement. We could do
100%.
something with that. Absolutely. Okay.
Wonderful. And Chelsea put in the chat 100%. There are amazing leadership sessions at the Empower Conference.
Yeah.
So you'll also get some face-to-face time.
Program man. Yeah.
100%. So that's a really great way to also do that. So Gina, I did pull questions. These were kind of the top questions that were asked about contracts. So I thought we'd cover areas we can cover today that we were pulling out of it for the FAQ.
Sure.
But please ask any that come to mind as we're talking through it. But there were a lot of questions, and you've talked about some of this with signing contracts for the upcoming 26, 27. Can you believe it? We're 26, 27. It just sounds like so far in the future, yet it's here. About contracts. And so I'll just run through some of these, Gina, and you can probably say it better than I did. But so if you have someone other than who normally is signing your contract, maybe now the program owner, or you have another authorized individual who wants to sign the contract this year, they haven't in past, can they sign the contract this year if they're authorized to sign?
Yeah, if they're an authorized signer, they would need to have a single sign-on user account. So if you have somebody that maybe hasn't gone into the portal or hasn't gone through the single sign-on process, then we would need to set them up. If you have that person and you need to check on their account, or you don't know if they have an account, or they do need to get signed up, you can send their name and email address to me and the site, obviously, that you would like them to be added to. But if you send that over to either my email or our provider services email, we will get them, we'll research and let you know, and get them set up if they need an account. But for them to be able to sign the contract, they do have to be able to log into the single sign-on system. So they won't see the contract without that. So that's a good question.
The other one was an ask about, is the school readiness contract affected if there's a change in the center director?
Not that the contract necessarily would need to be redone, but if the director was listed as the contact person, so the person that we're talking to about the contract, we may need to do an amendment to put on the newer person. We would absolutely want to get that we would need to know that there's a new director, and we would need to have that person set up into the single sign-on system, and then update the profile information at a minimum so that we have the correct name and contact information for the new director. So that is a change that we need to process. And if you're struggling with that, then you would reach out to your provider services specialist, either Maureen, Sadie, Sadilka Luna, or Maureen McMahon, Sadilka Luna, or Maria Luna for your contract, but Rosemary or myself can get you started with that as well.
I'm going to stop there. Are there any more questions about contracts? Because contract season is upon us. Any more questions about contracts before I jump areas? I do have one more kind of related, but I'll just stop there for a second. This was a biggie that was asked often because this is a new election. Okay. So the next question that came up was about the training day. If our program elects to add the optional training day to our contract, what kinds of activities count for the training day? What can I do on my training day? How does that work?
So the staff training day does have structure to it. So you do have the ability to add what they're calling a 13th paid closure day. So right now you get 12 paid holidays. 6 of them we pick them, are major holidays, and 6 of them you select. So that's your 12. And then with legislation last year, you were able to add in a 13th paid closure day, but that day does need to be structured as a staff training day. For that day to be eligible for payment, it does need to be 50% of your operating hours. And if you have an extended schedule, then that's a minimum of 5 hours of training. It does have to have 75% of your school readiness staff in attendance. And the training does need to incorporate early learning standards or Florida state standards. So, or be DCF training. So you can decide to take a 5-hour DCF class that day, but you do need to have an agenda and a sign-in sheet, or your training does need to cover some of the normal standards. I do send out reminders for people that have that currently on their calendar. There is a document from the state, and it's like 700 and something, that has all of the standards tied to it. So I do send out a link for that document so that you can review and make sure that your training is meeting those standards. 735, early learning professional development. It's the pathway handbook, the career pathway handbook, and that goes over all of the standards. So any of the training that you're doing should be incorporating some of those they're not just health and safety, but health and safety is one of them. So there's a health and safety standard, there's child development, along those lines. So your training day would need to incorporate some of those standards in its delivery for the day. It's not just a free day.
So I think what we can do with that to make this easy for everyone is when we send out the FAQ, we can provide links. We'll set up a box folder with links to everything because there were a lot of questions. It was amazing. It was great. And it helps us to understand where we can provide more information. And I will tell you, my brain is not always the best at memorizing things. So I would love to have resources to look at because you have so much going on every day. You have so much going on. So we can certainly send all that through to you and include links to all the documents. So just like we talked about, the minimum number of hours, sign in, sign out sheet. So you have all that in front of you. So when you're planning your training day, it's easy, and then you don't have to worry about, gosh, I didn't get sign-in sheets, and now I have to run around and make sure everyone signs. And
right. In addition to that, so in addition to and align with that, your coach or your TA can help you structure your staff training day. They are offering support for that, whether it be they deliver the training or they help you structure your training day so that you get the most out of it. And Larissa asked if they could do like Frog Street training. Absolutely. You could absolutely be a curriculum training. That's, curriculum is part of the standards. So in the learning portion of it. So if you would like to schedule that day to be a curriculum training day, you absolutely can. And it's a day kids are not in care. So it's a closure day for the care of children, and staff would be working on that. And Chelsea put a link in there for our Frog Street training.
All right, good question. Thank you.
But now keep in mind, Larissa, 75% of your staff would need to attend. So just think about that piece of it as well. So you do have to have commitment from the staff for the day to still be a paid day. Good.
All right.
Good question.
The other question I had was about the special needs rate. And I know that title is changing a little bit. So we will always, for a little while, put special needs / new title. So we all stay on the same page. But what age group is included in the special needs rate, and how do I set this up with the family?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So special needs is available for children under school age, so 0 to 5. They do have to already be funded by school readiness, so they have to have been approved by us for school readiness enrollment. And if the child has a diagnosis from someone else, so a doctor, IEP, IFSP from the district, something from their psychologist, anything that gives them a diagnosis of a known issue, and you are willing to modify your learning environment for that child, then you could be eligible for the special needs rate to be paid. Special needs rate does pay the infant rate, regardless of the age of the child, as well as a differential on top of that. And I believe it's 10, 15, or 20%, depending on the level of involvement and services that you're offering for that child. It could be anything from you give breathing treatments to a child with asthma on a regular basis, or you're monitoring a child's diabetes and sugar levels and having to administer insulin. So medically needy children, all the way to developmentally or behaviorally needy children who have need ABA therapy or have an RBT that comes on site or a speech therapist that you're working with. So if you are incorporating what the needs of that child are and working to communicate that with the parent and the other agencies that are involved, you definitely could qualify for the special needs rate. To get started with that, there is a form. Of course, it's a state program, so we have a form. We are working to move it to be an online submission, and that will be coming up pretty quickly. But right now, we do still have a form that you would work with the parent to go over what's on that form and what level you're willing to work with them on. So it could be as simple as adjusting your curriculum, that no adjustments are needed, or you're doing intensive adjustments to the curriculum to be able to accommodate. Then the parent, at this point, the parent would need to take that matrix form that you both complete together, as well as their diagnosis form, and upload it onto their eligibility in the family portal. So they would need to contact us so that we can reopen their account and they can add that form. And then it goes to review by the staff, and a new certificate would be issued if we're able to pay the special needs rate on that child. Martina, I see your question. If you could email me the parents' information, I will look that up and get back to you. Don't put it in the chat for us, but if you could send me an email really quick with that parents' information, I can find out what's going on. It does take a little bit because it is a review and they do have to review the documentation, but it shouldn't take too long, and you will get a new certificate with that new rate that needs to be signed, of course, by both parties again.
And Miss Martina, if you could just include a last name.
Yeah.
First initial, last name, please leave out birth dates. This is just a good practice for all of us if we're emailing documents to the coalition. And this is often why we send things through Box, but email is secure, but only to a point, right? There's always people out there looking for information. So if you send information to us, or have family send information to us, they can provide last name, first initial, skip birth dates, just because there are a lot of people I know. We all probably get phishing emails and all kinds of crazy stuff personally or in our professional inboxes. So we just want to keep that really safe and keep you safe and keep your family safe.
Yep.
So perfect.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's the special needs rate. It's really exciting for us to be able to do. It is something that we want to be able to offer our families and you as you're doing more work. I think a lot of you do a lot of that work anyway. So it is nice to be able to say that, we can pay you the extra funding to be able to cover some of those extra services that you're offering.
So, Susan, I see your question. Great comment. So I think you're talking about the differential, and this was a question that came up the other day. So we are going to be addressing that through family services. Just, as much as we can, we try to explain the differential. I think sometimes the differential gets mixed in with copay, and it may be seen as the same thing, even though it is two separate items.
Right.
And so, as much as if you have suggestions on how we can explain that differently to make sure, I think sometimes it gets lumped together. Differential and copay mean the same thing when it can absolutely mean two separate things. So let us know how we can help you and support that. Lorraine. So you would follow the same procedure they would need to have some documentation that we just explained. It would be hard for us to answer that here, but it would be the same process to go through for the special needs rate. So, but they would have to have documentation from someone else.
Yeah.
Susan, good feedback. So that's good. We want to keep talking about that and how we can strengthen that so everyone has the appropriate expectation. Now, and we'll talk about this more with family services because there's now really a shared copay. If you have children going to different sites, their copay may go to one site and you may not be getting the copay, but you will be made whole by the coalition. So you will receive the full tuition reimbursement rate available from the coalition. And we will not subtract out the copay, but we will talk about that more. But there is always some sort of copay. It just depends on if they're attending other sites.
So yeah, Miss Martha asked about the special needs form. I think it's on our website under school readiness forms, but if it's not, and I don't know if it is, but Miss Martha, I'll email you the matrix form so that you can have it to work with the parent. Yeah, I think it lives there. Yeah. And for special needs support, Maria Gutierrez is always, Lolita, then I'll email it to you. Miss Lolita. So if Miss Maria Gutierrez for our is it still inclusion? I don't remember if it's still inclusion. Is it still inclusion? I'm not up on all the terms. But yes, is she still inclusion or child development?
It was through our warm line. Yes, child development.
Thank you. I don't know what words I'm supposed to use anymore. So yes, so Maria Gutierrez can always help with the special needs info. But Lolita, I will send you an email with that form. Yeah. You're so welcome. Thank you.
And we will get it up on the website. I'm scrolling through right now. I do see a form here. I see an FAQ document. I'm scrolling through. Talk amongst yourselves, everyone. Sorry. Just trying to see if we have what we need. I believe so.
Yes, I can send it out.
Okay.
It's the same. It's the same form. Like I said, we had talked about special needs for a little while, but it is the same process at this point in time. And like I said, we are looking to make it a little bit easier going forward and doing an online system. But I'm happy to send it out to you as well, Eula, and Lolita. Anyone that really wants.
So Gina, I just sent that through to you, and maybe this is a good moment. We could talk about where to find. I just sent it through to you on Teams, and if you tell me that's the right one, we'll make sure we can get everyone navigating to finding forms on our website.
I just have a question. This is Eula.
Hi, Miss Eula.
Hi. So the forms, it have to be signed by a doctor and therapist or both?
So the matrix form itself just needs to be signed by you and the parent. And then the parent needs to supply the third party diagnoses of some sort. So it could be an IEP from the school district. It doesn't have to be. Sometimes the doctor will write up something that says, this child is required to have ABA therapy as a diagnosis of autism or something like that. So it just can't be you or the parent saying, hey, my child has a need and I need something. It has to be a third party having documented that need. So we see different things. Sometimes, like I said, it's an IEP or an IFSP and a family services plan from another professional. Sometimes it's a doctor's note of some kind. So that's what we're looking for. So it's two parts, both the matrix form and the third-party documentation.
Okay.
So Gina, I think I sent you the correct form.
Yep, that's the right one.
So Ariel's going to put a link in the chat since I'm working between my computer and my phone today. So she'll put a link in the chat. So just so everyone knows, this link she puts in the chat will take you to a page on our website. And this is a very handy dandy thing to have because you will find if you scroll down on that page, you'll see a red button on that page. So you'll scroll down towards the bottom and you'll see SR forms for providers and a link to the provider portal. And so If you go there, and when you click on SR Forms for Providers, this will take you to something that'll say box at the top of your screen. That's kind of our document management system. Thank you, Ariel. And you'll see in here, there are all kinds of documents. So the form that Gina was just speaking about, it is there for you. And it is listed as special needs rate documentation. So this is a really great spot, and we'll link as many of these as we answer questions that came from the SR orientation. But this is an excellent part, and we can share this again in the provider newsletter, so you'll get it. This is a wonderful spot where you can find all kinds of documents that you may need. Yeah. So if you haven't headed there yet, this is an excellent resource that Gina and the provider services team put together. And there's a lot in there. So
yeah. You're absolutely right, Miss Martina. That's exactly what we're looking to change, because we do realize it's a kind of a burden on the parent to be able to have a scanned version and get that uploaded. So because it is really you requesting it, that is the part of the process that we're going to be adjusting, in that it would be your request then, and why we're moving to a digital form. So you don't have to have a piece of paper and try and get a copy uploaded and get the parent to call and do all of that. Because it doesn't necessarily, now keep in mind, when you do the school readiness or the special needs, excuse me, you may be getting paid more, but it doesn't necessarily change what the parent's copay would be, because that's based on their income. So it does pay you a little bit more for offering those services, but it doesn't necessarily lower the parent. To sign in, you shouldn't have to sign in for the box link.
No.
We'll get it out to you.
Yeah, we'll get it out to you, and we'll double check that, because you should be able to just click right in.
Yeah.
So we'll double check that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Miss Martha. See, this is good. This is how we learn. This is how we get better. Because we want to make sure you have all these documents here, and you can just pull them up and have them.
Yeah, it may be because of the Zoom and the chat that way, but if you go to our website, you should be able to get in there. If you click for providers and then provider supports and school readiness.
Yeah, I'm going to go in where it doesn't know I'm me and see what it does.
Or provider contracts, I'm sorry, but that's okay. Well, we'll do something on that as well.
I'm going to go in incognito and see what it does.
But yes, exactly, Miss Martina. That's why we are looking to change that process. I see the hiccup there, so I will. That's coming, actually. I think we were just waiting to get through our audit from the state, and then it would be a process that we release for the new year. We'll get back to that committee and get that going again. Aaron, did you have more questions you wanted to bring forth?
Those were all the questions. The only other question I had would be a topic jump again. It was about E-Verify. There were a couple of questions that came up with E-Verify.
Yeah, so E-Verify is required for your contract. You do sign an affidavit every year. You do have to be registered on their E-Verify website, and you are required to run your staff through the E-Verify system. It's a federal requirement that they are eligible to be employed in the United States, to work in the United States. So you do have to run them through there. You don't have to send us the results. It does generate, once you create an account, it generates like a results letter. It is not background screening. It's merely eligibility for employment within the United States. So you would keep that verification that that person's eligible on site. And when we monitor, they may ask to see some of that information. I wish we had a handbook. I do not have a handbook. That's in the works too.
So, and, you know, this is something we talk about with all coalitions, and it's tricky because it could be very long. If we do it, we want to have it be digital, where you can click in it and you can go, I just want to know about this topic. I don't want to scroll through hundreds of pages. I just want to find the thing I need. So definitely a project. Good question. It's something I think we're all endeavoring to do to make this easy and more streamlined. So there will probably be some steps in the middle, like us releasing FAQs with links to documents.
So that I have, yes.
Okay, yes.
So So there's two different health department things. So there is a school readiness health and safety handbook. So if that's the one you're referring to, probably when you refer to ELC handbook. So there's a school readiness health and safety handbook, which I'm happy to send over to you. And then licensing has the local rule that they have developed, their handbooks, which have not yet been approved. And they're basing it off of the DCF handbook, which is the state copy. So I will happily send you, Kathy, the school readiness health and safety handbook. And a lot of that handbook does refer back to the DCF handbook, as well as state statute and rule. So that's been the new go-to. I will. You got it.
Okay.
Make my notes. What
That's
else can
something,
we have?
we can also load up in the folder. So I was able to go in as not me, as an unknown person. I was able to look at the box file, but keep us posted, Miss Martha, if you can't get in there.
Yeah.
If it's just being problematic for you, because we want to have a spot where you can find all of your stuff in one place.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Gina? This went fast.
It does always go fast. Every time I'm like, oh, there's nothing. Then we just go.
And if you want to talk to us in person, come to Empower.
Absolutely.
Definitely come to Empower. May 16th.
May 16th.
Register for Empower. The only other thing I want to plug for everyone who's on here is the CSE Star Award.
Oh, that's true.
So, always more information coming out. But we want to make sure that you are accessing the registry, putting all your information in. A lot of you, especially all of you who put all of your amazing years working in early learning, probably transferred over from the old registry into the new registry and have an account. But for you and also for your staff, we want to make sure that you're accessing CSE Star Award.
Yes. So the registry's moved. Most of you have seen that. We have a new registry website. If you had an old registry account, your verified info will be coming over, any of your verified education. So we do need you to create a new account in the new registry website. And then the SEEK scholarship is now located within that website, which is registry.earlylearningpbc.org. If you haven't done that yet, you can get that in there. And I will send out, I know everyone that's asking for the health and safety, I'll get those out to you as well. I was making notes as I was thinking and talking at the same time. So please create your new account within the registry. If you had an old registry account, great, your verified education will come over. If you didn't have an old registry account, that's okay. You are creating a new account and you can add in your information into this site. And then if you, as working at a site with a school readiness contract, or Head Start or Early Head Start, you're actually eligible for the CSE Star Award, or your staff are as well. So you'll be able to see that application in there. We do a monthly CSE Star and Registry webinar as well. I had one last month and not a lot of people came, but just really basic out there for people who have questions. That one is the Wednesday, the 29th, so the last Wednesday of April at 1 o'clock. So if you have staff who have questions about CSE Star or the registry, we also get Palm Beach State on to talk about SEEK. So that one, I'll send out the invite again, but that one is a series I have once a month towards the end of the month, the last Wednesday in the month, just sort of going over just anyone's questions, Q&A, presentation of whatever you may need more info on, but it's really designed for your educators or you as a family childcare home if you had questions about how to get into that system and submit your applications. So I'll send out that again too.
Wonderful. The only other item I have to mention, and we'll have more information forthcoming about this, but we are going to have provider seats that will be opening on our board. We'll have more information available towards the end of this month or May. So those seats will be presented to you. You are welcome to apply if you are interested in serving on the Early Learning Coalition of Palm Beach County Board. And we do meet quarterly. There are also some interim meetings depending on any other committees you are serving upon. We will have more information coming, and then there's also a nomination process. So once we have that out there, we will share all the details, but it's something that you can start thinking about if you have the time or the inclination to do so. We would love to have you. We have 2 provider seats that will be coming available later this spring into summer. And so we will be sharing more information about that. So if that's something you're interested in, look for more information coming on that.
Nice. That's a good update to know. Coaching. Yes.
Yes. Yes, Elizabeth, great question.
What side are you with, Elizabeth? Sorry, somebody's at my front door. So you should have, depending on your location and the Belglade, yes, but what's the name of the provider? Because certain providers we do offer coaching or TA, and depending on, and then maybe Chelsea can help you.
I'm just going to do a phone a friend. We'll see if Chelsea's still here. And if you can put your site in the chat, that's great. We can look into it for you. The coalition does provide coaching. It depends if you're working with certain programs. Yes, to request coaching, Chelsea is way ahead of it.
There we go.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Yeah.
There you go.
RCMA. Yeah, so there has been some changes with RCMA, so it is something we'll have to, I don't know if Chelsea, you're up on that, maybe not.
Okay. But definitely fill out the form and request. Chelsea, thank you. This is so great. We always have phone a friend on here. Thanks, Chelsea.
Yeah, RCMA is a little different, so yeah, but I know they're changing in the coming year, so we can get back with you, Elizabeth. Thank you.
All right. Any last questions? This was great. Great feedback. And I just have to reiterate, amazing how long just the years of experience on this call. And to any of you who are newer, you soon will be saying, yes, I've got 20 years, 30 years or more in the field. It's just so impressive. All the time that all of you have. Lucky children, lucky families, lucky us.
Yes. Thank you, Elizabeth. Having Head Start program mean we are unable to do VPK coaching? I don't know. She's with you're with Luciano Martinez, no, Alejandra? Chelsea? We have a coach assigned to Luciano Martinez. Training. Okay. There we go. That's the answer. See, I don't know. She's Head Start, but also school readiness and VPK. So she's multi-contract.
Good questions. Good questions.
Yes. Anything else as we look to close out? We're just looking right at 2.
We are. So these will transition into becoming a micro-learning session. So you will still see Gina and I, but we'll have other experts on. Well, Gina's an expert. I'm here as
You're an expert.
Fun and Zoom shutdowns today, apparently. Thanks for bearing with me, everyone. But we'll definitely have subject matter experts on from those different areas to really answer questions. We will release the Q&A or the FAQ, as it were, from the orientation. And we'll just keep adding to that and linking documents. We want to make sure you have everything you need, which is why we started these all those years ago, Gina.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
I know. So we'll just pivot this because we want to make sure everyone has the resources that you need. You do important work every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We want to be able to make sure you have all the info, and things change a lot. So we have to keep up with that as much as we can.
Andrea, love it.
That's right.
We all are. We keep doing this, right?
That's right.
And the families and the children in this county are lucky for it.
Very
They're
lucky.
better for it. So
They absolutely are. We're very fortunate. We're very, very fortunate.
All right. This went fast as always.
It always
Fast
does.
as always. So if you think of questions, reach out to us. We're going to keep adding. We will release the PowerPoint. We will release the FAQ. We're going to keep adding. These are wonderful. Keep asking us because we want to make sure we can make everything as clear and as easy as we can. We're your partners. So with that, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Happy tax day.
Happy tax day.
Mid-month. Take care. We will
All right,
see you
Owen.
soon. Thank
Have
you.
a great week.
Yep.
Great day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.